Hey everybody, I'm Allie, and welcome to my Y&R chat for Sunday, December 26th. I hope that you all had really wonderful holidays and that maybe you guys had some Christmas miracles out there for you. Because there were a few in Genoa City, and I have to say, if anyone needed a Christmas miracle this year, it was Victor and the entire Newman family. So Victor returns from one of his jaunts around the world, and when he comes back into Genoa City, he's on the outs with everyone. I mean, he's got one son in jail that he framed for murder, okay? Every other one of his children absolutely can't even stand to be around him. He treats Nikki like dirt, just like dirt underneath his shoes. He forces Diane to start a new job on Christmas Eve. Who does that? Even the Scroogiest boss doesn't do that. And to top it all off, he makes his full staff of servants stay all day at his house during the holidays, like at his beck and call, just in case he wants a sandwich or a shoe shine. Like, what does he even need that many people for anyway? He's one guy. But then, of course, just as things are looking their bleakest, Victor partakes in a few swigs of Christmas tequila, and on a journey we go. That must have been some really strong tequila, because Victor's entire Christmas journey was epic. It was like, it was kind of acid trippy in a way. Really, truly, he must have been drinking the good stuff. I don't know. First of all, I feel like I have to say, Eric Braden's portrayal here, I bow to him. I bow to the master because I loved it. Watching Victor go through this journey, like seeing him cry. First of all, seeing him cry does me in every single time. When Victor cries, it's when I cry. But seeing him go through this entire range of emotions, it had me sobbing. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had like 5 Kleenexes piled up sitting next to me. And that was just for the last episode, for Thursday's show. I was crying. I think that it's really easy to forget about Victor's past because, he can be such a jerk 364 days out of the year, and then, it's hard to take into consideration that, he had this really terrible childhood. He had absolutely no father figure, nobody there to help him or to show him what being a man, is, and his mother abandoned him at the orphanage, and not even when he was a baby. She abandoned him. He had to be like 7 or 8 years old when she left him there, and that's a bad age. That's old enough to really get the sense that you are unwanted. It would have been one thing if she left him when he was a baby, but when he was at this, critical point in his, adolescent development, his mother just abandons him, which, if you were, into the psychoanalyst thing, that probably says a lot about how he feels about and treats women. He had a hard time. He grew up rough, in an Australian part of the U.S. where Victor grew up, or I'm Austrian, what am I saying? That's like one of the unacknowledged little things about Victor's life. It's like, hey, where did Victor pick up that Austrian accent? Nobody ever mentions that. He grew up in the Austrian ghettos of the United States. I don't know. But he's a guy who had nothing. He came up from absolutely nothing, and as soon as he feasibly could, he wanted to shed away the helplessness, the name Christian Miller and everything that came with it. He wanted to shed that away, and changing his name was so symbolic, changing it to Victor, which is strength, and then new man, as a rebirth, that it's so symbolic. And, even though we kind of have known all of this all along, it's interesting to look at it from this different angle. And even though Victor is someone who achieved great success throughout his lifetime in his career. So much of who he is, I think, really does go back to those feelings of abandonment with his mother and his father. I mean, in a Charles Foster Kane, Citizen Kane kind of way, he just can't seem to shake those memories, you know, those feelings of helplessness, those feelings of being unwanted. And I think it really just says a lot about the character. I feel like I got kind of a new grasp on him. I mean, seeing himself as a kid, I mean, watching this poor little helpless boy sitting in a cot at an orphanage. I mean, it was looking at it through his eyes that, we don't get to see every day. And it was really interesting to see it. I was riveted. I can't lie. I was absolutely riveted. Even though it was, the holiday show. The holiday shows aren't necessarily always that pivotal. I mean, you can really miss them or not miss them, but I always look forward to them, and I really thought that this was a great one. It was awesome to see Hope. Hope looked like a beautiful angel, just like taking Victor on this tour, through his past. I really enjoyed seeing her, although I thought it was kind of strange that she didn't even mention, Hope didn't even happen to mention that Victor had just recently framed their child for murder. I mean, you'd think that maybe she would have gone and put in a good word for Adam at this point, especially considering when everything was said and done, when this entire journey of Victor's was over, Adam was the only person that Victor did not attempt to make amends with. He went around to everyone at the end of this to make amends with them, and Adam was the only one that he really didn't. I thought that was interesting. So Hope leaves, and Sabrina shows up wearing a tent. What in the heck was this woman wearing? It was like, what? I couldn't even believe it. Like, I really liked Sabrina. I really enjoyed her, and I was like, yay! I saw the preview for the show for Thursday's show on Wednesday, and I saw the little, preview of Sabrina, and I was like, yay, Sabrina! And then the second I saw her, I'm like, wearing a tent? What is this all about? Like, was she pregnant? I mean, I know that that Sabrina was pregnant when she died, although not that pregnant, but is the actress pregnant? Because it was like, she was huge underneath this coat. Of course, she did have these two little children underneath her coat in the end. She was trying to make room for ignorance and want. I feel like I wish I knew the story a little bit better, I mean, I really liked how she explained that ignorance, even though Victor's a very brilliant man, she explained that ignorance is him looking through his own eyes and his own perspective and not being willing to look at things from looking at things from anything other than his point of view. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, if anybody knows about Sabrina, like if the actress was pregnant, I'm really dying to know, because she looked huge at the beginning, like before they even revealed the whole kids thing. I don't know. But she took Victor on, this part of the journey through the present, and Colleen was who took him on his journey through the future. I was so hoping to see Colleen. Like, I kind of had it in my mind that she was going to be in there somewhere, and I was really hoping to see her. I was a little bit let down by that. But in Victor's bleak future, Nikki's married to Jack. Big surprise. I don't know what happened to Phyllis. but I imagine it's just because I can't imagine anything ticking Victor off more than having Jack marry Nikki. As much as Victor doesn't want to admit that he loves Nikki, any way you slice it, he doesn't want Jack to have her. But what else? Victoria has a kid in this future, and Abby has her dream career. Like, in a world where Victor doesn't exist, everyone is happy. Nikki's thrilled thrilled with her new life. Victoria's thrilled with her new life. Abby has a new season of her show coming out next month. I mean, it's like, isn't that supposed to be the exact opposite? Isn't it supposed to be where everybody's a little less happy in a world without Victor? I mean, like, where's the incentive to change your ways? I don't know. I didn't get that from that because, of course, the worst thing about a future where Victor does not exist is, of course, Nick turning into him. You know, his seeing his son take the same path that he himself took. And I honestly thought that was the best part of the entire story, and I would have really liked to have seen those scenes stretched out. I liked seeing Nick in the future in this, you know, with this coldness, you know, being just like his father, you know. I mean, Nick sitting at Victor's desk, taking Noah's present and just like flopping it down on the desk like it was a quarterly financial report that he wasn't happy with, just like totally disregarding it. And the best part of it all, Nick's portrait in the background, hanging on the wall where Victor's portrait usually was. I adored that. It was amazing. I mean, I leapt up, like my whole heart leapt out of my chest when I saw that. That was such a great moment. And I don't know, I in a way, I kind of feel like that is a future that might actually come to pass. I mean, for the most part, I've always felt like Victoria is a little bit more of her father's daughter than Nick is is like Victor. I mean, I think Victoria embodies those cold, you know, vibes and the business mind more than Nick has. I really think pretty much throughout all of the past, she's really been a little bit more like Victor than Nick. Don't you think? I mean, what do you think? Who's more like Victor, Nick or Victoria? I think it's Victoria. But I can still totally see Nick following down that path sometime in the very far future. I don't think it's going to happen right away. I was actually hoping that they would jump like way into the future. Like, I was looking forward to seeing some of the cast like in old makeup, like plastered on with the gray hair, chalk maybe, you know, chalk in it and moving around with canes, you know. I was kind of looking to, you know, forward to seeing, you know, that, you know, how everybody would be way down the road, but, you know, that's not what happened. Adam, of course, was dead. Adam is dead in this distant future, and Victor died alone in his bed, you know, in his black t-shirt. With none of the staff noticing the smell for weeks, you know? And then, of course, they buried him in the backyard. Poor Victor. Somebody dug a hole and dumped Victor's body into it, and he was able to rest in peace there next to Zapato, his one true love for all of eternity. But the story would not be complete without the element of redemption, you know? Victor wakes up from his acid trip. He flings open the window, looks down onto the street, sees a young lad walking down the road, tosses a gold coin down to him and says, "You there, go buy me a fine Christmas goose." Wait, no, that's not what happened. But Victor did manage to give fine Christmas bonuses to his staff. That was very nice to see. And then he headed over to Jack's house with a present. I kept thinking, you know, Victor, giving Jack his money back that he lost when the Newman Fund collapsed, when you pulled out all of your money and made a profit, that would have been a little nicer than whatever it was you had in the box, you know? And especially after we heard the story of how Jack personally gave back all of the money that, you know, that was lost to the people that he pulled into the fund. It would have really been nice if Victor could have maybe compensated him. And in fact, I'm going to pretend that that's what happened. I'm going to pretend that in that box, Victor had a huge fat check for Jack. That's what I'm hoping would happen. Victor, you know, came in and made his grand entrance at Jack's house. He hugged Tracy. He held her face. as he likes to do. And he shut Diane's laptop off, you know, kind of encouraging her to spend time with her son. And then he made a surprise grand entrance at Victoria's house. No one was expecting him to be there, but he came, you know, with champagne and flowers and presents for everyone. It was very nice. And most importantly, he came with the ability to have a lovely, nice little moment with the woman who has given him love and support, everything that he needs, everything that he wasn't able to get from his parents growing up. You know, she gives him love and support through thick and through thin, when she thought he was poor and when she knew he was rich. Nikki has always stood by him. You know, it's Nikki who's the love of his life, and I felt that was a wonderful ending to this journey, and I don't know, perhaps a new beginning? I'm loving watching Victor act like he didn't just shuffle Skye right out of the country and frame his own son for murder. I mean, he's cool as a cucumber, acting as if that didn't even happen. Like Adam thinking that that's what happened is completely preposterous, you know? I mean, like, I'm actually surprised that no one on the Genoa City PD, I mean, I don't even know why I'm saying I'm surprised, because they're clearly ridiculous, but why are they not putting two and two together on this? I mean, Adam is not even the most likely suspect for Skye's murder. I mean, I kind of feel like if money were the motive for Skye's murder, assuming that she was dead, then there are thousands of people who should be suspects, because a ton of people lost money when the Newman Fund collapsed. It just doesn't make any sense, because there should be so many people that would be, you know, way more likely to want to take Skye out than Adam. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make sense, and I gotta be honest with you, the other thing that's not making sense for me, as much as I love Adam and Sharon, it's hard for me to even conceptualize how much energy Sharon is putting into, you know, fighting for Adam when she really should be fighting for getting her daughter back from Nick. I mean, it's starting to look like it's gonna get ugly between them, yet she's putting all of her energy, all of her resources into Adam. Like, I love Sharon to death. I love you, girl, but like, what kind of a mother is she really? You know, I mean, like, can you imagine not fighting for your daughter? Your newborn daughter? Can you just imagine, like, choosing to fight for the man who kidnapped her rather than for the child herself? I mean, how on earth is Sharon ever going to be able to explain this to Faith when she gets older? Well, I was secretly hoping that when Victor returned from his trip that he would catch Nick and Diane in the act. I was really keeping my fingers crossed for that, but they managed to get it together on time. Shucks. But Victor knew. He knew what was going on, though. There was no question about it. Like, I think Victor smelled the sex when he walked in. Like, the waft of sex just, like, hit him in the face. I loved his reaction. It seemed so real, because it was just, like, totally unassuming, and then just in one moment, like, my boy... No, wait. My boy? Did you just bang someone on my living room floor? Oh, no, I'm so mad. I can do better. Let me compose myself. My boy? Did you just bang someone on my living room floor? It's not that good, but... That's what I'm picturing. I mean, like, as the entire time Nick is, like, shoving Diane's shoes into the coat pockets. I mean, come on. It was, I don't know, it was very awkward. I mean, he's like, I mean, like, how awkward for Nick. Not only, just, like, having to hang out and talk to Victor after he just moments before slept with Diane. I mean, it was just that, it just seemed so awkward. And at the same time, Diane is at the coffee house having to have a conversation with Nikki. And I'm, like, the whole time I'm thinking, is she thinking, like, I just screwed your son? I mean, that was just so bad. And, you know, it really doesn't even seem to have occurred to either Diane or Nick, but especially Nick, how awkward and strange it is that Nick is sleeping with his father's ex-wife. I mean, his ex-mother-in-law, and he's having sex with her. I mean, it doesn't even seem to have struck them as weird, and it's not even, like, cripplingly awkward for them now. I mean, when Diane and Nick saw each other later at the coffee house, it was actually, like, the first time they saw each other after they slept together, it was, like, kind of nice and relaxed and kind of cute even. And then afterwards, they kissed, like, in public. What happened to, we're going to keep it under wraps, because I don't want Kyle and Summer to learn about this from someone else. But now they're just kissing in public. I couldn't believe it. I mean, and now that Victor has hired Diane to renovate the house, I'm sure that it's not going to be very long before Nick and Diane are working together at Newman. And I'm kind of looking forward to that, to be honest with you. I think it'll be good because, like, I want to see more boardrooms and not all bedrooms all the time. I kind of feel like everything I'm commenting on every week is just couples, and there aren't enough, like, intriguing business storylines, which is kind of like what The Young and the Restless is about. I mean, it's boardrooms and bedrooms, not just bedrooms. I mean, I don't know, that's just my perspective. Not that I'm complaining about all of the bedrooms. I mean, clearly I'm enjoying all of the bedrooms. And by the way, wasn't it totally weird and awkward that Victor just kind of offered for Diane and Kyle to move in with him while she's renovating the house? I mean, like, and I'm sure he assumed she was gonna jump at the idea. I don't know. Maybe she will jump at the idea later, since Kyle is, like, complaining about living in a hotel room. I don't know. Then Diane and Nick would be together on the same property. I don't know. The whole thing is just very interesting and intriguing to me, but awkward at the same time. I mean, it's like, I wonder if, as Victor's making her this offer to work for him and live at the ranch, I wonder if she's thinking, like, gee, Victor, when I was here last night blanking your son on your living room floor, I never dreamed that you would hire me today to expand the east wing of your mansion. I kind of love that Kyle hates Phyllis. I hate to say it, but I think it's really funny, and I kind of wish that they would, like, continue to expand that part of the storyline, because I'd like to see Kyle find some more creative ways to sabotage Phyllis, because, like, Phyllis has gone head-to-head with some of the craftiest minds that Genoa City has had to offer, but I would love to see her scramble to figure out how to go head-to-head with this kid. Like, it's just funny to me. I don't know why I have to chuckle every single time Kyle has a little jab at her. I just enjoy it. Other than that, Jack's family Christmas gathering was pretty much perfect. I don't think anything else went wrong in any way. We got to see Tracy, of course, who is like an angel sent straight from heaven. I love Tracy. I love any occasion to see Tracy. We learned that Jack repaid everyone who he convinced to invest in the Newman Fund. He paid them out of his own pocket. I don't even know how he could possibly afford that, because he lost money during this whole thing too. And then he went and repaid everyone. Like, and not to mention, when was the last time that Jack had a job? I mean, Jack has been unemployed off and on for kind of a long time. I mean, like, I kind of think Jack needs to get some more positive cash flow going before he goes and doles out any more money. But no, it was very nice, very kind of him. And then, the most important part of the Abbott family gathering, Tucker's proposal! I thought it was so wonderful. He said, well, I've never done this before. And then he takes a swig of scotch or whatever it was. It was like, glug, 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 I'm gonna need some liquid courage to get this out of me. And then he got down on one knee. So cute. And he said, you make me want to be a better man. It was so cute. And he also said, when you walk into a room, everything else just fades away, and I never knew that there was something missing in my life until I met you. And it was so perfect. It was like everything he said was perfect. Like if there was a checklist of all of the right things that you could say during a proposal, he hit every one. I loved it. I love Tucker and Ashley. I love the tension with Abby in there. I loved it, and the proposal was so great. I totally cried. As always, Katherine's Christmas party was fun and classy. I loved it. The only thing that party needed was more Murphy. You know I love my Murphy. And I needed to see a little more of him for holiday cheer, but I loved it. I love Katherine. I love the way she's playing Christmas Cupid and trying to bring Kevin and Chloe together. Just even when she went to go like force them to come to her house, when she went to the coffee house to invite them to dinner, she kind of forced them both to come, and then she's forced them together to like string the lights, and I love this. I love Katherine so much in this role, and there's so much bitterness between Kevin and Chloe right now that there's just no place else to go but up. I mean, we really have no other choice, you know? I mean, it can't get any worse than it already is. And now, though, how desperate of Jana to create a fake Christmas card, pretend that Delia made it, and then hand deliver it to Chloe because she would be heartbroken, or she knew that Delia would be heartbroken if she didn't have this crappy card. She has to hand deliver it to the Chancellor Mansion, basically to crash their party and end up getting used by Kevin to make Chloe jealous. I mean, is that even how she wants to get her man back? It's just so pathetic. And the way she's using Daisy to get on Kevin's good side, it's just sickening to me. I want Jana back. I want the old, I don't know, it's creepy. It's not even fun. It's just sickening, honestly. And I mean, Jana isn't gonna win Kevin back with lies, you know? And for that matter, Daisy is not gonna win Daniel back with gingerbread houses, crappy gingerbread houses. Oh, what's she thinking? Like, the only thing Daniel is interested in is getting Daisy out of his life and getting Abby back in it. I mean, that's all he even cares about. Suddenly, Mr. No Commitment, Mr. I don't want to make any commitments, will do anything to get Abby back in his life. You know what? It's too bad that Daniel didn't fight this hard to save his marriage to Amber. I don't know what it is about Heather that makes Ronin feel so comfortable, but he's more open with her than he has been with anyone. He's more open and comfortable with Heather right now than he's been with anyone ever since he came into Genoa City, and you can't deny that. You know, I've really been trying really hard to open myself up to Heather and to try to find things to like about her, because I mean, as you know, I have not been a Heather fan. I mean, I've never been happy with the recast, and something about her has just always rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know what it is, but I have just never liked her, but I'm trying real hard, because at this point it feels like it's taking more energy to dislike her than it would be. She's wearing me down. I just don't have anything left in me to hate her, so I'm gonna try to force myself to like her. I want to be positive. I want to find the good in her, so that's what I'm going for. And I don't know, I have to admit that she seems to be the only person who, you know, Ronin feels like he can talk to. And I like the playfulness that she brings out in him. You know, I appreciate that. I didn't completely understand the logic behind snow stripping. I don't know. I guess maybe it was just kind of one of those good to be alive moments, you know, and I wish there would have been more Ronin nudity than and less of Heather's gigantic, disproportionate disproportionately large boobs. You have to be noticing this, you guys. I mean, it's not just me. I mean, she has huge boobs. It's like they just take over, and as she's like stripping down, I'm like, ugh, they're taking up the entire screen. I'm sure there are plenty of guys out there that are pretty happy about that. And I'm sure Ronin was pretty happy about that. He seemed to be having a lot of fun, and it was nice to see Ronin having a lot of fun instead of, either being very cold and stoic or, being depressed about the fact that he's dying. So, I appreciate Heather for bringing the fun and the playfulness out in Ronin. And most importantly, she brought him to Nina for the holiday. It's been so hard for everybody to convince him to get close to her, and she's the one that convinced him to go see Nina for the holiday, and I have to give her props for that. I really hated seeing Nikki packing her bags and leaving the ranch. It was really hard to watch. I mean, they really took their time and showed the scene where, Nikki takes a moment to look around the ranch and kind of say goodbye to this part of her life. It was almost as if Nikki hasn't left a dozen times before. And it was almost as if she won't be back someday. It's like I know it in my head, but it was still really sad to see her, leaving. But I love the idea of Nikki living with Katherine. I'm really jazzed about that. And more importantly, I'm jazzed about Nikki stepping on Jill's toes. I love that Jill walks in the door, and the first thing she sees is Nikki's luggage, and she just gets her, panties in a bundle about that. I think that having Jill and Nikki and Katherine under the same roof is going to be tons of fun, and Chloe, right, too? Chloe is living there now. I mean, there's tons of potential for cat fights underneath the Chancellor roof. I'm looking forward to it. And I mean, really, if Lauren and Jill can get along, I mean, anybody can, really, if those two can manage to patch it up. I thought it was really nice to see Lauren and Jill kind of, having their time together. It was, even before that, Michael and Lauren were kind of sitting on the couch with Ven, being happy, being comfortable, being relaxed. It's nice to see Michael and Lauren in this space where nothing's wrong. Michael's not putting out any fires. Lauren isn't being stalked. I mean, it was a nice little moment, and she's at this point in her life where she's able to invite Jill into her life, and she's able to spend time with her, and take the effort to get to know her. And it was nice that they both exchanged gifts, and it was a really comfortable little scene. I enjoyed it. How long do you think it'll be before these two are back to tearing each other's throats out? Okay, well, those are my thoughts for this week. I hope that you guys enjoyed them. Leave me a comment. I can't wait to hear what you guys are thinking. I'm really excited. So I'll be reading your comments, responding to your comments, and looking forward to them. You can also go to the new website, yrchatblog.blogspot.com. And you can also help spread the word about my vlog if you like it. I would love to, for you to help me spread the word. It helps support what I'm doing and help get some more people involved. I mean, I think we have a pretty nice little community of people chatting together, and I am looking forward to hopefully bringing some more nice people into it. So that's it for now. Again, I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday, and I'm thinking of you, and I'll be watching with you all next week, back to regularly scheduled programming, and I'll be back to chat with you again next Sunday. So everybody have a great week. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!